Let's now get you the latest from Sri Lanka as the island nation's inflation hit a 9th consecutive record in the month of June. Inflation reached an all-time high. And with this, Sri Lanka has now broken into the hyperinflation zone. Official data shows that inflation hit a 54.6% a day in South Asian nation. And this comes just a day after the International Monetary Fund asked the bankrupt nation to stamp out corruption and also to substantially raise taxes to rescue its economy. On Thursday, the IMF ended 10 days of its in-person discussions with the Sri Lankan authorities in Colombo, which was conducted to discuss the country's request for a possible bailout. The residents in Sri Lanka's capital, Colombo, said that life is becoming increasingly difficult after official data showed that food inflation had risen by almost about 80% in comparison with last year. It also confirmed that food inflation had surged by almost about 57.4%, while prices of non-food items jumped by about 30.6%. And with the dollar shortage, the country is also struggling to pay for essential imports of food, fuel and medicines.
Business normally udeta awa dawal wenaka nikan inne. Kamath noka inne. Issara nan kama kala adiya gala innawa dan emat nane. Nuppauru anukudu. Kochchara amaruda lambutel walata sumana ganan polime inne. මේ මිනිස්සු එන්නේ අඬනවා මිනිස්සු එවිලි සෑයන අඬනවා සල්ලි නෑලු කරාබු ගස් තියලාලු අතේ තියෙන බඩු ඔක්කොම ඉවරයි ඉතර අමාරුවෙන් ජීවත් වෙන්නේ හැමදාම පොලි
Queues everywhere. These are the shortcomings of the rulers. When politicians are divided, people become helpless. Nobody has a national policy or a plan, and there is nobody we can say this to.
According to the Department of Census and Statistics, this is the first instance in which Colombo Consumer Price Index crossed the psychologically important 50% mark. Amidst shortage of essentials, the Sri Lankan economy has already been struggling with fiscal and current deficits, along with an external debt of a massive $1 billion. On the other hand, the country's currency, the Sri Lankan rupee, has lost its value by over 40% in the month of March. With acute energy shortages, Sri Lanka is also observing a shutdown of non-essential state institutions, along with the closure of schools due to fuel shortages. Now, in the latest series of street demonstrations that have been ongoing for several weeks now, a group of lawyers also staged a peaceful anti-government protest on Wednesday, where doctors, medical staff and people of various professions marched to demand the government to resolve a severe fuel shortage.
I really want to tell the people of this country, we will stand with you. Please come to the street. We'll fight against these corrupt politicians. They have ruined our country for decades. Now we can't tolerate anymore.
And our correspondent, Dasawni Athawda, has been tracking the story very closely for us from Colombo and has sent us this report. Listening.
Sri Lanka's inflation rate recorded a record high of 54.6% for the month of June, the highest ever recorded in the country since 1954. Sri Lanka is grappling with an acute economic crisis, with a possible IMF bailout the only and last resort for help here in the island nation. Now, as the country eagerly awaits for some form of concrete decision from the IMF, the Japanese ambassador has said that it is a little cautious to assist Sri Lanka during this time of crisis, with the fear that the funds that are to be given to the island nation will be mismanaged in due course as well. Sri Lanka is also dealing with an acute fuel shortage, which has left a large part of its population utterly helpless. Reporting for WION World is one from Colombo. I'm Dasawni Athawda.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.